Yo, what's up? This is Young Black Wonder 2000. It's been a long time since I've been online or since I uploaded videos, but shit, 5 years later, I'm still here. Um, this video, I would like to lend my voice for a few minutes and talk about the black male autistic experience. Alright, just to start this thing off, I was not diagnosed as an autistic person. I wasn't diagnosed with autism, but last year, at the age of 20, I figured out that I was autistic. So when I figured that out, I was like, wow, that explains everything. But I'm not gonna. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that. Really, what I'm gonna try to get into is some advice for dudes who any dude really if they find out that they're autistic. Me, I'm still I'm still in the process of processing all this shit. Cause when you're undiagnosed, it's when you find out for yourself that you have it, it's kind of like you didn't have no type of help because everybody assumed that you were normal. But yeah, you just kind of was thrown in there. It's like you were thrown in a pool of sharks. And what I mean by that is the way your brain is, it's not really set up to, you know, it's not set up to succeed in a certain type of society, like the neurotypical society. But anyway, my advice for people who just found out, keep it a secret. I will say keep it a secret because you don't really get much out of telling people that you have autism. And one problem that autistic people have is they share too much information or they overshare, which means they just say shit that they don't need to be saying. And it makes people look at them like, what the fuck? It's just we get a little excited and we say shit that doesn't need to be said. Because we don't really process the way we don't process how you're gonna feel about it or whatever. We just say whatever. And it's stupid, but I don't know. I'm saying don't tell people that you have autism. But if you're gonna tell somebody, at least tell somebody that fucking that's real close with you, like your parents or something like that. Don't just tell anybody. Especially if you weren't diagnosed. Don't tell anybody that, because for me, I feel like you don't want to be labeled. You don't want people, because I mean, yeah, you might think, oh, okay, if I tell these people that I have this disorder or whatever, autism, whatever you want to call it, you tell them that, you think, okay, they'll feel sorry for me, or they'll they'll cut me some slack. You think that, you want to think that, but then you got to realize and remember that you can't be so naive, because the world is full of fucked up people. So you need to just keep that shit on the low, because if you don't, you might get bullied even more, or they might put you down even more. They might really start calling you retard. They might really use that against you. They might bring it up later on, like, hey man, I understand you're autistic, but I need you to get this going, man. And they're doing that to embarrass you or to just get some cheap laughs out of out of everybody. So I probably went off on a tangent, but I'm just saying, don't let people know that, because they might use that against you. All right, another word of advice. I guess forgive yourself for all the times you said shit or did shit that was deemed inappropriate or stupid, and for a fact that you didn't really want to do it, but you did it because you know you're autistic. Like the way it is, like I think neurotypical people, they just operate like automatically. Like they do what they're supposed to do automatically without thinking. But like the way we're set up, we don't do shit the way they do it. Like we don't do it automatically. We don't. Some things you have to tell us. Some things you have to teach us, because like it's so much that goes with this. Like it's weird. We got facial blindness. We got, what is it? Facial blindness. We got low emotional empathy, and I think what else? Yeah, we're basically like introverts, and to where we like our energy just gets so drained, and like when we get tired, we straight up just clam up to where we don't even want to talk, we don't want to do shit, we don't want to show no emotion, because what happens is we gotta mask so much, we gotta hide our true selves so that we don't look stupid. And so basically, we gotta pretend to be somebody we're not. We gotta be actors for so long, and it's tiresome. So you're bound to fuck up and slip up and get tired and be like, you know what, and people. And it's easy for people to see you as an asshole, not understanding your condition. So forgive yourself for the mistakes you made. You may have been an asshole on accident because you know the condition you have and what it makes you do, the things it makes you say that you can't. Like people will tell you think before you say shit, but a lot of times you just can't help it, like because we don't understand certain things. It's like missing from my brain. It's weird, but I mean I'm still doing my research, so I said don't tell anybody. Forgive yourself from the past because you didn't know any better. Another one is, I guess, another some other advice I would have for y'all. Um, I guess do some research. Yeah, do research definitely about Asperger's. So yeah, like figure out what's going on and just figure out what it means to be autistic and figure out what you need to do to to get through it. Like to either make sure that you really do have it, or to to just know what it is, know what you can and can't do, like know your limits. Because when you have autism, you are limited. Like it's harder to interact with people based off of all the things I listed, like facial blindness and all that weird stuff, like emotional, like basically not really having emotional empathy, like not having empathy is kind of weird, but I didn't realize that until last year. I was like, wow, all those times where I couldn't understand like the social situation or whatever, I was kind of blaming myself and kicking myself because everybody else was. They were looking at me like, come on, man, you don't get it, you don't understand, like, come on, man. I'm like, what? I'm over here like, what the fuck's going on? Little did I know, I'm actually slow. Like, I'm actually, well, I'm not gonna say slow, but that's what people call it. You're slow. But since I'm high functioning and like since I was never in no special needs class, I was in like regular classes and sometimes smart people classes, but I did not know that I was autistic. And yeah, I didn't know at all. I had to look that shit up on Google to figure this out. But yeah, that's what happened. I just started researching my life. Well, not my life, but I just got tired of not knowing why can't I act normal, and then I finally figured it out by researching, looking at some tips on YouTube to help me figure out what I need to do to get through the day every now and then. Like because it's tough. It's like being autistic is like living life as an autistic person is basically, in my opinion, it's like you're walking around with a flat, like you're walking around blindfolded, because there's all these different threats coming at you. You don't see it coming. That's why they call it slow, because you're slow to get things or understand things. But yeah. So my advice so far, yeah. So first one was, damn, how did I forget? I think the first one was, don't tell anybody. Like, don't say, hey, I think I'm autistic. No, just take a deep breath, reflect on your life, or whatever. Just whatever. Just research all that shit. So don't tell anybody. Forgive yourself for the past mistakes, and also, yeah, do research so you can find out how to, you know, assimilate or whatever you want to call it. Just live life. Because one thing I learned was being autistic, it gets harder as you get older. So like as you become an adult, that's when it's really hard. Because now you have like more responsibilities other than school or sports or whatever. Because you have to, you gotta do shit differently now. You gotta make your own routines and you gotta do what you gotta do. Whereas like usually autistic people, they're used to just having a set routine and just sticking to that and just doing the same thing every day, or just having things just planned out and sticking to that. We don't really like it when last minute things pop up, which is why I feel like life can be so, like, life as an adult can be tough for an autistic person. And so yeah, another advice I want to put out there, I want to say, I guess, stand up for yourself. A lot of problems um that autistic people have. I think one problem is they they um they might not be aggressive enough in certain situations. Like, I feel like a lot of the people that got bullied, they were probably like autistic or had some type of anxiety or something. I don't know. And the reason why they get bullied is like they don't really stand up for themselves. So definitely stand up for yourself when somebody comes at you sideways, no matter what, because you got to set an example. Um, with not social, with autistic people not understanding social cues, that can really paint a large target on you. Because if you're a little slow to understand things, somebody might think, hey, I might be able to come through here and assert my dominance over you. So shit like that in life, like people asserting their dominance or people doing this or doing that to try to make it to the top. That's stuff that a lot of autistic people, since they're usually loners or they're usually outside of, this all this shit, this life thing, they're like really antisocial. They don't really understand the dynamics. They don't think it makes sense. They don't like it, or they just don't want nothing to do with it. But truth is, I mean, you're still a player in the game. Like, you're still in there. You're still competing. So I guess you just got to suck it up. So the least you could do, I mean, you don't got to try to take over the world or try to be the king in the world, or you don't got to try to be the best thing ever. But I'm saying, like, when people come at you sideways to assert their dominance or to make you look stupid or to make fun of something, like if they have a feeling that, oh, this guy's retarded, like, let me just bully him because let me take out my frustration on him. Don't go for it. Say something bad, do something. Um, because if you don't, it's just gonna get worse and worse, and people gonna just look at you sideways, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, so that's one thing. That's one advice. Like, because I know, like, when you're autistic, you're dealing with a lot of stress from everyday life that we're really just not built for, but we got to get through it. So, like, you stress about a lot of shit, and you're like, man, fuck, this is all my fault, but really it's not your fault. And let all that negative talk get in your head, and people see that you may be going through something. People see that you may be like fucking at a weak point in your life because you're just you're struggling, stressed out, or either maybe you're too nice, too naive, or whatever it is. They might see that as an opportunity to make a fool out of you. I'm just saying, like, the things about it, like the problems with autistic people, I feel like we don't understand people. Like, we don't understand how bad people can be. So somebody could be leading us into a trap in front of everybody, just smiling and laughing, and we don't know what's going on, and everybody just looking at you like, really, bro? You letting this shit fly? You know what I mean? It can just make you look really bad because you don't see it coming, but they do. Like, you might be talking with some people, and they're making a joke out of you, and you don't realize it. You don't realize that you're the punchline. You don't realize that, like, they're getting on you, they're roasting you or whatever. Instead of being a punching bag that a lot of autistic people seem to be, because they don't understand the atmosphere, or they don't understand the meaning of what people are doing. They're just sitting there like, haha, okay, I'll just go along with it because I'm, you know what I mean? Like, just peep that. Try to peep it. If everybody's looking at you smiling and waiting for you to say something to look stupid, or waiting for you to do something to make you look stupid, they're making a joke out of you. You got to stand up for yourself. Don't just let them you know what I mean? Don't just let them bullshit you or clown you on a daily. Fuck that. Don't be that guy. So, some other advice I want to say. Okay. Shit. I will say, in my opinion, I feel like, in my opinion, you should get a job or a career that that's not, how can I say this? Get a job or a career to where you don't gotta be all up in people's faces 24/7, because that can really drain you, tire you out. I mean, if you like people like that, go ahead, because I can't paint everybody with the same broad brush and say all autistic people don't like people. But to be honest with you, since autistic people kind of suck, like, they naturally suck at dealing with people, I don't think it makes sense to work as I don't know, a cashier at Target, or, you're gonna be a cashier at McDonald's. Like, don't do that if you know you don't really like people like that. Why don't you get you a little job where you're working as I don't know, be a driver or something. Like, well, a food delivery driver, or, well, not that, but because I don't pay worth a damn. But that's just an example. Like, be a UPS driver, or be a damn, I don't know, truck driver, or work at a factory to, like, where you can see the same people every day, but you don't have to do that customer service shit. Don't do customer service if you have autism, because you will burn out really quick, and everybody is gonna tire you out because they're gonna ask you the same shit. They're gonna be like, "What's wrong? Why are you not smiling? You need to smile." And the truth is, when you're tired and you're burnt out, you don't really feel like smiling. You don't really feel like putting on an act all day. You don't really feel like the interaction. You just want to go to sleep, because we're tired as fuck a lot. So get you a job where you don't have to interact with people that much, where you can just be yourself. You don't have to mask. You don't have to fake. You don't have to do anything. Just load some boxes or something, or I don't know. Just do something that's not customer service. Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying work a shitty job that can only pay you up to $15 an hour. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying do something that's not customer service, and you'll be a lot happier, most likely, in my opinion. Okay. Um. I might have some more advice. I'm not sure. I didn't really plan this out like that, but I'll probably drop a part 2 to this eventually. I don't know, but I gotta go to sleep. So yeah, that's it. That was Young Black Wonder 2000 advice for people that are autistic.